Hello, you're watching Have New X, and today let's talk about a recently started airing Chinese period drama, 春花宴, Kill Me, Love Me. This is a 32-episode web period drama that has been airing on the platform Youku. It's based on a web novel that's published back in 2016. Although this drama adaptation has gone through significant adaptation, so a lot of things have been changed. Because honestly, if you follow the original novel, it first wouldn't go through censorship, and second would be extremely problematic for the current time being. As the original novel is a what we call in China heavily torturing female lead type of story. As I talk more about what I think about this drama, we will talk more about that. The drama is led by Liu Xueyi, Wu Jingyan, Bi Wenjun, Zhao Xiaotang, Chen Chuhe, Huang Yuyin. And the story is pretty straightforward. Our female lead character is just a normal girl living in a city of a fictional ancient time when one day a war happened, the whole place got burned down, all her families are killed, and she thought the person responsible for that whole fire is one prince of one kingdom. So she decided to spend the next 10 years of her life training to be an assassin. And one day she did get the opportunity to assassinate this person, and then things turned out to be quite different than she thought. It has 32 episodes. I've watched 11. If I have to give it a rating based on my 7-level scale, given this year, 2024 Chinese drama and period drama category is a catastrophic failure. 同行, the colleagues of this drama are also bad. This one is not the worst. There are far worse and less interesting ones. Honestly, if you just compare to what are ongoing right now, like the Tencent Rise of Ning or the iQIYI Snowy Night, this drama can win those two dramas in different departments. I'll put it neutral. I'm not gonna say the usual good and bad, because honestly, most of the things of this drama, I watch them and I'm just like, 10 minutes of that expression. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna talk about what is watchable, at least slightly enjoyable to watch, what is neutral, and then what is not fun to watch about this drama. How about that? Overall cap of this drama, and I'd say the biggest problem of why this is not gonna be a popular, explosive, doing really well, statistically getting attention drama in any way, it's boring. The biggest sin of a television series or a web series, whatever, is being boring, right? You could be ugly, could be ridiculous. You could be even stupid and then making people talk about how bad you are. Like in that sense, you're still not boring, but if you're boring, that's the biggest problem. So first, let's talk about what is still watchable. First point, if you want to say pretty people to look at, it has Liu Xueyi and Huang Yuyin. I think these two, actor and actress, would be very fitting for the classic aesthetics of being the leads of idol dramas. Although Huang Yuyin is not, she is the supporting role. But I'm just saying pretty face. Face that can stand camera's stare and lighting in all angles and all types of hairstyle and whatever. Given Liu Xueyi is no longer at his peak time, let's be honest, he's not that young anymore, but he's still pretty good looking. Even when you skin smooth him and use bad lighting, he still tends to look pretty good. He also is, I'd say, good enough in terms of acting for the camera, for the moment of emotion and whatever signal and meaning that this character needs to convey to the camera with his facial expression and body movement. He's a qualified actor, so he could bring the intended sort of effect for narrative purpose, what this moment needs to do for the story, to the audiences pretty easily. So you don't have a difficulty of understanding what he's acting. And as for Huang Yuyin, I've liked her since she first showed up in Idol Dramaland, which has been a while. And she hardly ever takes on leading roles, but she's really pretty. It's like a hard fact. Look at her face. Also, like good enough an actress that she can do idol dramas pretty easily. She can convey her emotion and the meaning and messages of that particular moment. Idol period drama, everybody knows you're going for those dramas for the cotton candy. It needs to be pretty, it needs to be delicious, and that's like what the genre is. And that's really about it. Then these sort of more neutral parts of the drama would be, first, the visual style, color, lighting, very acceptable. It's not outstanding, but it's not ridiculous. If you're comparing to, for example, right now on air, the Tencent drama, Rise of Ning, or the iQIYI drama, Snowy Night. If you put these three dramas, visual end of things, I would say this drama is better. Snowy Night, I've already ranted about that in my weekly video in terms of its terrible choices of lens, color, and then obviously the CG is just a nightmare. And then as for Tencent drama, it looks a lot rougher, in my opinion. Cinematography, lighting, costume design, even makeup, it just looks rough, and then I don't like that drama's color grading. So that's my personal thing. In comparison, this drama will look a lot prettier. If you have to say score it among all Chinese period dramas, then it's still not gonna be the great ones. It's just gonna be those ones that don't offend you. Also, the things that are staying in the middle are, for example, costume design, styling, makeup, all those things. Again, they don't jump out and scream, "We're so bad, look at us," but then they don't impress you with their high quality either. Couple of things actually I don't like. For example, they really like to design those dangling bits for guys. So the Crown Prince character Chen Chuhe plays, he has this two dangling bits golden thing. It looks ridiculous for a guy to have that. And also, for a male lead character, although his hair is pretty much all the time down. So most of the time if you look from the front, you won't see it, but if you have a shot of him from the back, you see the hair ornament on the back of his head also has those two long golden dangling chains. That looks really cheap. It looks like they got it from Yiwu. I still put it in the neutral part of the styling because those are the only two little things I don't like. The other things are like, yeah, acceptable. Anything great? No, but at least it looks like a normal period idol drama production. I've already tried my best to squeeze out the good points, and those are the good points. Now you know, for the rest of the video, it's all gonna be these things. Point 1, female lead. Yeah, this time, I think it's very, very, very clear Wu Jingyan cannot properly act, or she cannot deliver the right emotional cue and timing for that moment, what that character should be doing for the camera, for the story narrative. She's basically completely inactive. And I get this weird feeling watching her performance opposite Liu Xueyi, and the best way I can articulate the feeling is like when you have a sequence where it's a back and forth, it's over shoulder, they're talking to each other. Whenever the camera is on Liu Xueyi, the narrative is now flowing. It's like that tube is not blocked. The energy is going through, the liquid is going through, so the functioning of the machine is ongoing, so you get the idea of what is going on. And then the shot cuts back to Wu Jingyan, and it cuts back to a black hole. Her eyes are completely empty, her face is unreadable, and it's like in that moment, the whole narrative stopped. The whole system just freeze for however long she's talking. And then it cuts back to him, it starts to flow again, it cuts back to her, stops again. And at the end, like my brain can only register there's a character who's a prince, like who's talking, but then he's talking to a black hole. That's how the female lead, her performance reads to me. I know we live in a very politically correct world and you have to walk on eggshells and talk about your opinions, but this is idol period drama. And one of the biggest problems I've seen in this drama from episode 1 that I just laughed, which is Wu Jingyan is the female lead of this drama, right? But then when she's like paired up with like supporting role, not even female second, like third or something, Huang Riying, for example, playing the princess, when they're standing next to each other, you ask any random people who do not know these two actresses, do not know what kind of resources they usually get in China dramaland, grab anybody and say, who is the lead and who is the supporting role? I'd say 99% of people would point at Huang Riying and say she's the female lead. Because it just looks like that. If the drama really intends to make Wu Jingyan stand out as the female lead compared to everybody else, they should just cast every other female actress a lot uglier than her. They shouldn't pick Huang Riying as a like female third or fourth character, because she stands there and it's like your eyes just follows her, like you can't help it. It's just, it is what it is. I talked to an industry friend watching the first 3 episodes, and I talked to her, I'm like, what are they thinking? I mean, from production's point of view, you know your female lead is Wu Jingyan, so like you kind of cast people around her. Why would you pick Huang Riying? And she's like, yeah, I don't understand that either. It does not make sense, but this drama has that. So it just makes it even worse. So now that you're facing with a female lead who actually cannot act. Like if she's a brilliant actress, that may actually not matter that much. Unfortunately, this drama is like having so many shots on her and in slow motion and staring at her face where her eyes are just completely blank. She's been like that, I mean, pretty much all the time. But in this drama, it just looks worse, okay? And maybe it's because she's surrounded by people who don't look like that. In contrast, things just look worse. Her acting does not work. Super copy-paste, crossing all types of dramas she's been in. Think about whether it's 延禧攻略 or this year's Double or this one. You literally can copy-paste her performance from every drama to another one. Apart from their styling are different, like it's exactly the same. And while I was watching, I kept thinking, what if the person opposite Liu Xueyi is Zheng He Huizi from that drama? Because I still ship them in the first 2 episodes of that drama. It worked out so well. Now I feel bad for Liu Xueyi again. Because in dramas, he's either facing the female lead who cannot stop overacting and moving her face, Ju Jingyi, or he's just acting opposite black hole. The second point of what I think is not working for this drama is this is one of those very classic drama where these supporting roles are colorless. They are written just for the convenience of the plot. None of them has anything that outside of the main character's plotline that will make you feel they are interesting individuals. This is the opposite of a successful narrative, which is if you have a story that has many supporting roles, even though they don't have the most amount of screen time, whenever the camera is on them, you are also interested in their story. You wouldn't want to fast forward. You wouldn't find their story is basically watering down the whole narrative. It actually helps the narrative becomes more interesting. I mean, this year, for example, Strange Tales of Tang Dynasty, even all those unit individual people who would show up only for like 4 episodes are great characters. To the point that you actually really want to know more about them, really want them to bring those characters back for the next season. So that's successful character writing. In comparison, this drama, all the supporting roles, they're just like there because they need to fulfill the NPC's role for this narrative, but that's it. Third point, playing house 权谋, politics, power struggle, court, right? All that, because now our lead characters are prince, crown prince, the emperor of this kingdom, 2 kingdoms at war. Everybody is like an important aristocrat somehow, apart from our female lead. Our female lead is inevitably involved in this power play of this kingdom. Almost all the functional plot of this story that pushes everything forward is linked to court politics, is linked to mainly the fight between the crown prince and the third prince, between Chen Chuhe's role and Liu Xueyi's role. So you cannot get away from the classic things of Chinese period dramas. For idol dramas, one of the worst things that can happen is they set the story within a feudal dynasty court and then they don't know anything about how that actually works in the world and they want to tell the romantic story based on that, but then everything they're writing for the romantic story as the background because they're politics and because they're completely unresearched, therefore it's always ridiculous. I don't even know where to start ranting about 权谋 part of this drama because it doesn't have it, or it has it but nothing actually makes sense. Everything is but that does not make sense. For example, let's just do 2 examples. Beginning of the drama, it's the fire of the city that the female lead lives in and that killed everybody, and including her parents. So the fire is burning, her father died and trying to save her, and she's like scrambling and running in the burning city. And she just literally walked into a guy dressed in black, pouring oil on the fire to make the fire even bigger. Now, if you are a bad guy and you're undercover, like black clothes and covering your face, and you're setting a fire up and burning down the whole city, you've been walked in by a person, literally saw you and tried to stop you, what would you do? 杀人灭口, obviously, kill the person so that they're silenced. You're already burning down the city. Who do you care, like to make sure one does not die or something? Like you obviously go and kill them, and you're a big guy and she's a small girl, and it's like just do it. He will literally try to run away. She's grabbing onto him and saying, "Stop setting fire to my city and my home." And this guy wouldn't even bother to harm her. He will literally just try to escape from the girl. Like that makes a lot of sense for somebody who's doing something that clearly they need to do undercover. She grabbed onto his waistband and dragged something off, and this guy just let it happen and ran away. And it happens to be a 令牌, which is like order that's been printed on a plate in ancient China that represents you have sort of authority to do something. And because it is something that says it's this army, so she now knows it's this army's people that are undercover in the city setting fire. So she therefore thinks the general or the leader of the army is responsible for the fire, and that's why she spent 10 years trying to get revenge. Now let's think about the logic. If you are really that army's person, you're doing this undercover, would you wear any identity card on you to let people know you are from this army? And if that does not make sense, then if somebody has that on their body, then does it mean that they're actually trying to set up this army? Therefore, this person is not from the army. Because the only making sense thing for anybody to do it is to not wear your identity card. But if you're wearing it, then maybe you're just trying to put it on somebody's head. Wouldn't that be really easy for anybody to see it for the first time and immediately figure this could be going on? At least you have multiple options of this could be happening, that could be happening. how do you then immediately arrive at the conclusion that therefore, for sure, this fire is set by this army, and therefore that general is definitely responsible, and I'm gonna go and kill him. That's like first 5 minutes of this drama. And then just don't worry, everything like this will keep happening throughout the whole drama. Every time something like this needs to happen to push the plot forward. And weirdly enough, Snowy Night also starts with a fire that burned down the female lead's home. Things happen in cluster. And then later you have a plot where our male lead knows that the enemy of his is looking for somebody who had an injury on their wrist. Because that person sneaked into a secret meeting one night before and got injured when they escaped. And they know the person got injured on their wrist. So now they are looking for who has the wound on the wrist, and to cover the real wounded person, their goal is basically to create multiple people who've got injuries on their wrist so that nobody can tell who is who. Well, in the drama, it resolves to they just secretly try to hurt everybody by all kinds of weird ways. Like when they're walking, throw a stone, knock on the back of their knee so that they fall over, or just accidentally create something that they stumble over when they're holding something, that eventually they ended up with 10 girls who all have like injury and wound on their wrist. But if you look at how that sequence is shot and how they actually managed to do it, it becomes completely not making sense. If you make somebody accidentally fall down, they could be hurt on their knee, they could be hurt on their palm, they could be hurt in other places. How can you control the result that it will be accurately just only hurting their wrist? And you cannot control the physics of where it's gonna hit. It's not like a game engine, right? You're just tweaking the numbers to make sure it happens. So that whole sequence, when you watch it, you're like, but it does not make sense. You made all those girls fall over, but how do you know then they will hurt their wrist? Because at least what you show me visually is not equal to that result for sure. And this type of thing is the level of politics and power and struggle and outsmarting each other planning for this drama. Now you kind of get the idea about why I say everything you can question, but that does not make sense. And that consists of the entirety of the politics of this drama for the romantic story to happen. I don't know how much you have to basically hypnotize yourself to make it like completely get ignored so that you can believe in the characters and the story. At least I cannot. Like my brain is constantly saying, this is just stupid. If I go with your story, that means I am stupid too. And my ego would not allow me to do such stupid things. The last thing is not about the drama itself. It is about the awkward situation of the original novel compared to adaptation. I haven't read the original novel, but I did kind of go through like the synopsis, and it's shocking. In the original novel, it's like the classic torture the girl to death level of story. You have a female lead who is completely mistreated and in a way almost psychopathically tortured by the male lead, and somehow she still always is doing everything for the guy for no good reason. Also, like during certain period of time, the female would be taking care of the male lead to the point where it's basically diaper change. Accurately, specifically described in the novel about how that's done. And eventually, at the end of the day, like last minute, the guy would be realizing actually all the way along, he loves her more than another girl that he always thought is his true love. That's so twisted. He would put medicine in a girl's food to make our female lead like literally lose her voice. He would use her blood as the medicine to save his true love. In the original novel, the female lead, he believed is dead, which is not really dead, but then most of the people for that period of time thought she's dead and she's buried, and he would dig out the dead body, rotten dead body, and carry the body with him everywhere. Anyway, so the original novel is this like a really twisted type of fantasy some people have, like they like reading that type of thing, but obviously you cannot adapt that to a drama. So the drama has to make the guy very normal. He's not a psychopath, and the girl also very normal. But the problem with that is they cannot then find something that's juicy, that's hooking for people to look at. If you think about the male lead, if he's in any way actually a psycho, then it actually will be quite interesting to see, even though it's maybe like twisted and the male lead actually wouldn't want to play such a role. But it will make this drama having that type of like special edge that other things don't have. But then they just mute it and made everything look a lot more acceptable and normal for every character in the drama version. And then they are not good at writing such stories either, so that it becomes this absolute bland and boring and banal thing. And back in the early days when they were promoting this drama with trailers and posters and production photos, they're actually selling the slightly twisted angle, all the torturing, all the male lead going crazy type of angle. Like, look at how Liu Xueyi is styled, right? With all the blood and the hair. You think it's gonna be those type of normal and not perfectly like good guy male lead, and that's kind of one of the selling point and attraction of this role. Yet when you actually start watching the drama, he's so normal. He's not any of that. Immediately, that's even the last bit of appeal of this drama just dissipates, and it's just like left as this boring, mediocre pile of colorful thing. So I've spent 11 episodes time of my lifetime watching this drama, basically to tell you you can totally avoid it and you will not miss anything. And the other two dramas I'm going to on the two platforms also you can avoid them too. So maybe October you just don't need to watch any Chinese dramas. Maybe wait for the end of the year, see if we have a couple of watchable ones, because usually around November, December, for the last couple of years at least, it has been like that some good drama will be coming out. It seems to be like that. Or the platforms know that somehow at the end of the year they need to have a KPI. They go up a little bit, so they bet their money on what they think will be high quality dramas and release them closer to the end of the year. We've already had such a bad year of Chinese drama of 2024. Right now I'm at the point where I don't care. I was like, whatever, come what may. Thank you for watching Avenue X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.